Hi, hello, I'm Marina, that one girl that likes to talk a lot about houseplants, and welcome to Millennial Planter. Welcome officially to my Philodendron collection. I'm going to be sharing all of my philodendron, and it's a lot. It's kind of shocking how many philodendrons I have. I mean, they are my second favorite genus behind Hoya, but I think I have more philodendron than I even have of Hoya, which is so crazy. They make up a vast majority of my houseplants, and I grow them really well and I like them a lot. There's such a good variety of philodendrons. You know, there's a type of philodendron for everyone, really. I also have a new philodendron to show y'all that I just got, and that's really exciting. It was on my plant wish list, so I'm really happy to have this. But before we get into the video, if you haven't already, I would absolutely love if you subscribe to the channel, help propagate this community with me. And you're watching a plant video, so I think you like a thing or two about houseplants. I happen to talk a lot about houseplants. Well, it'll be a great match. So now that the intro is done, let's look at some beautiful philodendron. So we're in the plant room, and here's the full overview. My plant room relies only on grow lights because not much sunlight comes out of that window that I have there. It's really heavily covered by trees. So I have lots of grow lights, all different kind of grow lights that my philodendrons grow under. As far as humidity goes, the high right now is 80%, which is really high, kind of weird because I've had the heat on, low of 53%. So I would say it doesn't get lower than 45%. That's probably about the average. And my philodendron just really love and thrive in these conditions. So over here, I have my Philodendron Pasta. I just recently set up this little garage light area for these two plants because they're just so massive. They really just need their own space. And I went to treat my Pasta for spider mites, and she's not happy about that, but it's fine. I've had this Pasta for 2.5 years, 3 years at this point. We've been through it all, and this is a very, very resilient plant. Happens to be growing from both ways also, which is interesting. And then look at that beautiful new leaf. Oh, love it. And the other one. And coming over here, this area is like one of my favorites. It's just a little bamboo shelf, but down here we have my Philodendron squamiferum, getting some nice big beautiful leaves. Check out those hairy petioles. And over here I have Philodendron campos portuanum. I'm actually about to put that on a wooden plank. I just got one today, so can't wait to start maturing this plant. Finally, I've had it for so long and I just keep growing it trailing, but I'm ready to start maturing it. I also heard they mature really fast. I can't wait to experiment with that. Here we have my Philodendron majestic. And after getting this plant, I knew I wanted to collect all the popular cultivars or crosses of the different philodendrons. So then my newest philodendron is this Philodendron glorious, which is a cross between Philodendron gloriosum and Philodendron melanochrysum, I think it was. I'll put it on the screen if I'm wrong. And then this one is Philodendron sotoroi and Philodendron verrucosum, and you can definitely see those verrucosum effects on the red abaxials, or the backs of the leaves, how they're slightly red like a verrucosum, and then the leaves just look so much like a sotoroi. So it's super pretty. And then this glorious, I'm excited to see grow out. It's a super velvety leaf, and I love it so much because it has those same similar markings to gloriosum, as you can see on the leaf there. So I can't wait to get this fully established and growing, and I'm probably going to throw it on some sort of support to help size up those leaves, but super excited that I finally have that one. And coming over here is my lemon lime philodendron, or Philodendron heteroecium lemon lime, and I love this plant so well. I mean, first off, how beautiful does this look next to the Hoya australis Lisa? Stunning, absolutely stunning. But you can just see with this lemon lime, it is crawling on to my wall. I have it on a trellis, and it kind of just outgrew the trellis, and now it's climbing onto the wall, and the leaves are getting really big, and I'm so excited to see that. You can see that very sun-stressed leaf up there, which is kind of weird because it's not getting light directly up there, it's just getting light down here, and those leaves are still coming in really red, which is so cool. But I can't wait to just have this plant trailing as far as I can get it to trail. And here are some of the smaller leaves that it started out with. So it's cool to see those size differences and see the plant is happy and sizing up. I love heartleaf philodendron so much. It's one of my top favorite genuses. And I think that's all the philodendron I have on this bamboo thing here. Back here I have a Philodendron Billietier, new beautiful leaf coming through. And now we enter my tower corner, which is all the plants I'm growing on different supports, aeroid soils, sphagnum moss poles, wooden planks. I have a whole playlist I'll link down below if you want to hear more about that. But let's go to the plants. First we have Philodendron Bernardpottii, which is just growing crazy. It takes up so much space. These really wide plants are always so hard to store, like Anthurium. Anthurium get really wide and they're just so hard to put places. Same thing with this plant. And it was in a lower light area, so that's why these leaves are getting smaller. But now I moved it closer to this grow light. Hopefully this new leaf will come in bigger because I'm really trying to mature this plant. It's actually taking a while to start mature. It's kind of weird. But then we go over here to Philodendron verrucosum, and I actually have 3 plants in this pot, and I think it's 2 different types of verrucosum. So this is some sort of like round form. You can see how round and ruffled it is. This is one of the newest leaves, and then this is the other verrucosum I have. So if you happen to know the varieties of verrucosum I have, let me know in the comments down below, because I'm almost certain these are 2 different types. They look completely different. And if you didn't know, there's several different types of verrucosum cultivars that they've made, and they're all just really stunning, and I would love to collect them one day. I love verrucosum, and I just think for me, they're a great houseplant, but I know that's not the case for a lot of people. But this is the newest leaf that's coming in, and this verrucosum has sized up really beautifully and really fast. It's not fully attached to the moss pole. It hasn't really put out any aerial roots on the moss pole. So this is just growing from it just merely being supported, which is really cool to see. But then you can also notice these are some of the smaller leaves down here. So yeah, it's sized up significantly. It's so cool to see. Over here, I have another one of those popular crosses, hybrids, Philodendron Splendid. And this is a cross with verrucosum and Philodendron melanochrysum. So you can definitely see that. I mean, just look at that. Oh, it's so cute. You can definitely see both parents in this cultivar though. And oh, that leaf is coming in so nice and long. So pretty. Philodendron Splendid is such an easy plant though. I love it so much. And just to let y'all know, this is like sphagnum moss that's all over the leaves. Sometimes it's hard to take off, so I just let it be. Behind there, I have my Philodendron Painted Lady. Look at that beautiful new leaf there. I think I'm gonna chop her after she outgrows this pole, just because I can't add any more support to the pole. I'm just gonna have to start over and make one really big one instead of attaching 2 to 3 different smaller moss poles. And over here is a philodendron that was sold to me as Plowmanii, but you can tell from its growth pattern, it's not Plowmanii. I always forget which one this is. If you happen to know, let me know in the comments down below, but it's definitely a climbing plant. There's the newest leaf there. And it's so long. I should probably chop and prop this because the bottom stem there, way back there, is really leggy, just from it being old and all those leaves naturally dying off. And then way back there, underneath all of that foliage, is Philodendron radiatum. And she's been through a little bit of hard troubles lately. She just got really stubborn and wouldn't grow for me for the longest time, so she finally put out a new leaf, and hopefully now we can start getting bigger leaves because radiatum is a really cool plant. I also have Philodendron Burl Marks Fantasy. This is growing on a cedar plank, and really trying to get these leaves to size up as well. They have sized up a good amount, but when I first got the plant, the original leaf was probably like the size of my hand. So I think it would be really cool to see, to have a Burrow Marks Fantasy with leaves that big. Once again, another one of my favorite philodendrons. This was probably my first wish list philodendron. I just love the markings on it so much, and that silvery color it has. It's so pretty, such a stunner. Oh, and I almost forgot about this one, Philodendron peltatum. Another really underrated philodendron that I love. Just look at how cloud-like those leaves are. It gives me Pastasanum vibes, but the leaves start out silver, and it is a climber and not a crawler. But that new leaf is just absolutely stunning, and it's gotten so much bigger. Oh, I love that plant so much. I'm probably gonna say that probably like 30,000 times. I am sorry. Like I said, philodendron are just my favorite. I love them. Okay, and then here is Philodendron Florida Ghost. I had a really big one and I accidentally broke it all the way at the bottom. So I ended up having to propagate all the pieces, and this is the piece I'm left with. So I can't wait to get that one nice and big like how it was before. Over here is another really underrated philodendron, so Philodendron Subiscinum. And I'm really curious to see how this plant's gonna do in this location. I just put it here and it doesn't get much light. Like, that's the only lighting it gets, and whatever light from the sunlight. But these leaves are just so massive, and it comes out so far because it really stretches for the light no matter what situation it's in, and it grows like crazy. So putting this plant anywhere is really, really hard. I might have to end up moving it downstairs to my bedroom. I don't know yet, but I absolutely love it. I'm just so obsessed with her. Oh my God, I almost forgot. I forgot about two more plants over here. Here is Philodendron Melanochrysum. This is growing on an aeroid soil pole, and it's been doing really great. It hasn't really sized up its leaves. I've heard Melanochrysum can be a little difficult to size up, which is annoying, but the leaves have gotten a little bit bigger, I suppose, but it's doing really well on this aeroid soil pole. I was able to cut it and stick that next piece right in the soil with the roots that it had, just because it had reached almost the top of this pole, and I wanted to fill in some of this empty space down here. So the cutting itself is doing all right. It hasn't died yet. It just hasn't had the best acclimating period, but hopefully we'll get some new growth soon. I haven't even seen any new, oh, well, maybe that's new growth coming in. Okay, so that's exciting. I wonder how small that leaf is gonna be. Hopefully we don't go to as small as like a Micans, because I would be devastated. And then way down there, I have my Philodendron golden / mottled dragon growing on a plank, on a 4-foot plank, even though it's a tiny little 3-leaf plant. But that's why I forgot about her. I actually haven't had her for too long, and I just attached her to that plank. But another plant I love because the shapes of the leaves are just absolutely stunning. All right, and then now in this little corner, don't mind my umbellata. She's not happy from being treated for mites, but the only philodendron, oh, I have two. So I have this Philodendron El Choco Red, so pretty. I love her a lot. I also think this is another verrucosum variety. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it is. It's one of the numbers. And then I have Philodendron Jungle Boogie, who's really fun. Those beautiful serrated leaves. And then Philodendron Atabapoense. I just moved this one down here, but look at that. Oh, beautiful. So freaking pretty. Love this plant. Imported this plant last year. I want to say December of 2021. This is the newest leaf. It's probably going to be smaller just because I just now put it in brighter light, but hopefully this leaf will give me some good length. And it's in a potted orchid pot. I think it might need to be repotted because it's thirsty a lot of the time. Back there's a beautifully variegated Philodendron Burley Marks, variegata. And I'm surprised all the cream leaves she's giving me. There's one there, there's one over there, but she's getting a lot of light. My previous one reverted on me completely no matter what it did. So it's nice to see that this one is still holding on to variegation, because I do feel like that's one of the plants that can lose the variegation the fastest. And oh, and then I have a little Philodendron tortum. How freaking cute is that? It just put out that second leaf, and I'm so excited to grow that plant. And then we have Philodendron giganteum that is tissue cultured from a variegated mother plant. I don't think it's gonna be variegated though. As you can see, it hasn't given me any variegation yet, but that's fine. I'm still really excited to grow that plant. Sorry, I'm getting a little winded here. And now on this grow rack, I have this pretty much as strictly philodendrons. So we have Philodendron subhestatum. This one has seen better days. I accidentally completely tore that leaf off, which was super frustrating. This leaf is looking all right, but look at those beautiful red backs. Absolutely stunning, but you can see like that leaf just came out so bad, but she's doing all right. She's on the up and up. Back here, I have Philodendron Atom. I'm excited to see this one grow. Not sure if it's gonna be too happy, but I do see that new root there. So that's good to know. Another Philodendron Bilietier, and then my Philodendron Pink Princess that I'm gonna get out and show you the variegation it's been putting out. Look at that newest leaf. Oh, that is so pretty. I am so shocked to see how variegated that leaf is, because you can see the variegation hasn't been too strong. I think I maybe have cut her once, and I just left her underneath the grow lights, and now she's really close to the grow light, and I'm surprised her leaf hasn't burned, but it has come out really, really pink. Oh, there might be some burning right there now that this leaf is hardening off, but that is so exciting to see. I think if you can get a nicely variegated pink princess, they can be so beautiful. But that's how close she is to the grow light. So super close. And here I have Philodendron Dodsonii, which is also another varicosum cross, but I broke the new leaf off and I can honestly cry about it. I don't know how it happened. I had it on the table and I guess I just knocked it off with another plant pot because I was watering plants. But I was so mad at myself. So I'm really hoping this can put out another new leaf because I really want to grow that plant out. Here I have a Philodendron, another Philodendron Bilietier that's also tissue cultured from a mother plant. And I'm not sure if she's going to be variegated or not. She was growing in pond and I switched her over to to soil. So that's why her leaves are kind of funky. But I'm excited to grow her and see what she does. Even if she's not variegated, I love Bilietiers. And here I have another Philodendron Atabapoense. I actually won this one in a giveaway with a little pot. But there's my baby one, thinking maybe I'll probably put these together because I really don't want to give away this Atabapoense just because I really admire the artist that I got it from. So I love having a piece of her plant. And in this cup, I have Philodendron Leymanii that I'm trying so hard to root up. It's actually in fluval stratum right now. I got this in a plant trade I did, and I took the Hoya out that was in it because it was already rooted up, and I put this plant in it, and I really hope it roots for me. I'm so nervous about it, but I received that one in a trade, so I'm hoping I can grow it. Back there are two Philodendron Dark Lords. We have one of many of my Philodendron Silver Swords, Philodendron Mayoi, and then in the back we have another Philodendron Florida Ghost, and this is one of the Philodendron Florida Ghost propagations I took from that one that I broke, and I'm actually about to send this one off into the mail. This is my last one, so it's kind of bittersweet. I kind of wish I kept this one because it's bigger, but it's okay. But that's all the philodendrons for this shelf. Here I have all Hoya, which I did a Hoya collection video. You can check that out. And up here, the philodendron I have is Philodendron variegated, heartleaf variegated, Hederaceum variegata. I'm not sure how you say this one really, but just look at those beautifully mottled leaves. Oh, this is the only type of plant I have with this mottled green on green variegation, and I'm all for it. I love it so much. I'm actually going to grow this plant on a support, and I can't wait to get a heartleaf philodendron with big leaf. It's going to be absolutely stunning. And now we're on my last shelf. The last philodendron I have up here is another Philodendron Dark Lord. This is actually the mama that I have those two babies from. And I just recently added plants up there because I'm at max capacity. So I'm getting creative with my space. And now they have like a little fancy grow light up there and they seem to be doing all right. They're just really thirsty. Then I have some more Hoya, and then more Philodendron. Here is another Philodendron Mayoi. Look at that beautiful new leaf. Oh, it's so cute. I love this plant. It's adorable. Then is Philodendron Bariso Verde or Pariso Verde. That leaf looks like it's dying off. It was so cream. It was underneath that grow light actually, and that grow light is super intense. As you can see with the burley marks variegated, it really brings out the variegation in plants. But that is the other leaf. Actually, I really hope that leaf is okay. I don't know why it's dying off. Maybe I let it get too dry. Here is a Philodendron Melanochrysum, a cutting I took off of my big Philodendron Melanochrysum. There is one of the Philodendron Varicosums I put outside, and I just wanted to experiment with this and see how a velvety plant would do outside in the summer, and it actually grew pretty well, but it got destroyed by caterpillars or slugs, so I propagated the whole plant, and this was the rooted bottom half, and it already has new growth coming in. So it looks crazy right now, but one day it'll be big and beautiful. And then my last Philodendron on here is Philodendron Gloriosum. And just look at how pretty she is. I needed to take her out and have a moment because my first Philodendron Gloriosum I completely annihilated it. And now I have this beautiful one that's just growing so well and doing absolutely amazing. That's the newest leaf. Look at those pink veins. Everything about this plant is just beautiful. Kind of like gives me Ethereum vibes too, with that silveryness and the dark foliage. Such a stunning plant. I love it. Okay, all that talking has me really winded now. I think that's all my Philodendrons. I lied. I completely forgot about the plants in my room, which is embarrassing because this house is my favorite Philodendron and quite possibly the most impressive one in my collection, which is my Philodendron Mexicanum. So just look at this beautiful leaf. Oh, she's so pretty. I have aluminum foil there because I don't trust my cat for a second, and it's a really massive pot, but she's quite literally a tree. And I just think she's just so stunning. This is her newest leaf that's coming in. Look at how pretty that's getting. The ears are starting to look really loby and really beautiful. I'm interested to see how big this leaf is going to get because I just moved her into my room and it is slightly less sunlight, but she is getting all natural sunlight versus getting just grow light action in my room. So it'll be interesting to see how that affects her, the real sunlight versus the natural sunlight. Also, how pretty are these little rainbows on her. I love this little like privacy screen thing I got. And then here I have my Philodendron Burley Mark, just a regular one that I just watered, so she's a little messy. And then a Philodendron Black Cardinal that I've had for a while. This is probably like one of my first Philodendrons. And how pretty do those rainbows look against the dark foliage. So freaking pretty. I also have my Philodendron Brazil up here, and then a regular green, all green Philodendron, heartleaf Philodendron. Eventually the plan is all of these plants will fill out and make one big living curtain type situation. It's taking a little longer than I would like, but it's actually filling out pretty nicely. So I guess now I will go to the closing of this video. Okay, and that wraps it up for this video. And wow, I still can't believe I have all of the Philodendron I do in my collection. You know, I've been collecting houseplants for 4 years, so this has been 4 years of me just growing and trading for these Philodendrons. And honestly, I'm at the point in my plant parenthood journey where I really love my collection. Like, I value each and every single one of these plants. They bring me so much joy by themselves. And it's just been really nice to have this nice curated collection of plants that I have grown and I know so well. I don't know if that's weird to say, but anyways, I hope you all like that. I would love to hear what your favorite philodendron was in the comments down below. Let's talk about it. Maybe you can add a philodendron to my wish list because there's still a few that I want, but I know there's so many that I don't even know about. So leave your wish list philodendron down below as well. And as always, I hope you're all staying safe, sane, happy, and healthy, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!